Hello students, welcome back to my channel. This is your English teacher Anuradha Dubey once again with you with part 2 of chapter 1 from class 11th textbook reader Hornbill. The name of the chapter is Portrait of a Lady and its author is Khushwant Singh. In this video, we are going to cover short answer type questions, long answer type questions and the questions based on characters. So let's start with short answer type questions. And the first question that we get from the NCERT textbook is, describe the three phases in the relationship of the grandmother with her grandson. So let's start the answer. The author talks about three phases in the relationship of the grandmother with the grandson. The first one is when both of them were staying together in the village. The second one was when they moved to the city and they got a little bit separated because the author now starts to go to city school. And the third phase is in which the author starts to go to university and both of them get their own rooms. And the second question is, tell three ways why the grandmother was upset when the author started to go to city school. So now let's discuss the three reasons one by one. The first reason was that now in the city school, author was getting lessons in English about science. And the grandmother was not able to help him in the homework. So she was a little bit upset. The second reason was that in the city school, this child was not getting any education about gods and scriptures. And this was a matter of great resentment for the grandmother, who was very religious by nature. And third and the most important reason was that in the city school, the child was getting lessons in music. And according to the grandmother, music had lewd associations. It had nothing to do with the respectable people, and it was the job of beggars and prostitutes. So it was not respectable for the child like Khushwant Singh. The next question is, describe three ways in which the grandmother used to pass her days when the child had started going to city school and after that university. So now the three ways in the grandmother had shifted her attention. The first one, throughout the day, she left by the side of her spinning wheel and continued to spin. At all this time, she used to tell the beads of her rosary, and her lips were always busy in inaudible prayer. Thirdly, for half an hour of the day, she took to feed the sparrows which used to gather in the courtyard and in their house. Thousands of sparrows used to gather around her. They used to create a bedlam of chirping. They used to create a lot of noise, and she continued to break the bread into little crumbs and feed the sparrows. And for the grandmother, this was the happiest half an hour of the day for her. The next question is, describe how the grandmother behaved in a strange way just before her death. So it was the time when the author returned from abroad after completing his higher education, and he was welcomed by the grandmother. In the evening, a change came over her. She stopped praying. She collected the women from the neighborhood, took an old dilapidated drum and started to sing the songs of homecoming of warriors. The people who know her, who know that she has never left prayer, today it was the first time when she was not praying. So it was something strange for her. The next question is, describe the way in which the sparrows expressed their sorrow after the death of the grandmother. When the grandmother died and her corpse was lying in the veranda for the preparation of cremation, and it was the day of the afternoon, the usual time when the sparrows were used to be fed by the grandmother, thousands of sparrows got scattered in the veranda up to the place where the grandmother's corpse was lying. And now at this time, these sparrows were not making any kind of noise. They were not creating any sound. They were sitting very silently, as if they are also very sad. They are also lamenting over the loss of the grandmother, and having felt pity on them, the mother of the author threw some bread crumbs to them, and she broke the crumbs into the similarly as the grandmother used to do. But these little sparrows did not take notice of those breads. They flew away very silently. Not even a single sparrow of them eat the breadcrumbs, and the whole gesture was showing that they were equally lamenting, they were equally sorrowful and expressing their sadness over the sad demise of the grandmother. So these were the short questions, and now let's discuss some long questions. The first question is, which was the first short question itself, but now in detail you have to express what the three different phases in the relationship of the grandmother and the grandson, the author. So the first phase was when both of them were together, when they were staying in the village. At this stage of life, both of them were closely together. They were like close friends because all the time they were staying together. The grandmother used to wake this boy early in the morning. She used to get him ready for the school. She used to give him breakfast of thick stale chapati with butter and sugar spread on it. Together they used to go to the school, which was situated in the other part of the temple itself, and the time at which the child was getting his lessons in the temple, in the veranda, the grandmother used to sit in the inner part of the temple, and she used to read scriptures and holy books there. And after the school was over, together they came back to the home. So in this way, the whole day was that they used to spend together. So the friendship was quite close and intact. The second phase was when the child started going to city school. Now the grandmother was not going to the school along with the grandson. Why? Because now he was going to English school in the bus. The second change was that she was now not able to help him in the homework because now she was getting chapters and lessons in English and science. Then she was also a little bit upset because the child was not getting any education about gods and the scriptures. He was also getting music lessons, which the grandmother was not approving because according to her this is not a respectable thing to do. The third change came into their relationship. The third phase started when the grandmother was given a separate room because the author started to go to university, and he was a quite grown up now. But the grandmother was upset, but she did not show any sign of defiance or resentment. She accepted her seclusion with resignation. She shifted her attention from the child to other things like spinning the wheel, reciting the prayers, counting the beads of rosary, and feeding to the sparrows. In this way, she kept herself busy. And but all these changes, the changes which we are noticing in different phases of their relationship, all these changes are there, but one fact that can never be denied or forget was that both of them, the grandmother and the child, was having their love intact. That we see when the child was leaving for abroad. The grandmother kisses him, and he cherishes those moist imprint as a sign of last physical contact with her. It shows that he also has great love for his grandmother. So this was the first long question. The second question is based on the character, and this question is the most important long question of your Hornbill book. This question is about the character sketch of the grandmother. Sometimes you can get some short answer type questions based on different character traits of the grandmother. So if you have prepared this question all together with different including different traits of a character, so if the question comes in short answer type form, you can attend it also covering one of the trait. So let's start with the traits of author's grandmother. The first thing which we notice about the grandmother was her physical structure. She was old, she was short, fat and slightly bent. On her face we can see a crisscross of wrinkles running from everywhere to everywhere. Her face was full of wrinkles, with one hand resting on one of her waist, in the other hand counting the beads of her rosary. She used to hobble around in the house with a spotless white sari, and this whole sight seemed to be very, very beautiful and appealing to the members of the family. Next, the character sketch which we observe about her is that the grandmother is a woman of religious nature. Throughout the chapter, we see that she has the beads, or she has the rosary in her hand, and she continues to tell the beads of her rosary and doing the prayer in inaudible voice. Means her lips are always busy in reciting the prayer with even sometimes without sound. Moreover, she used to go to the temple along with the child. She used to study about religious books and scriptures, and she is a little bit angry when she learns to know that the child is not getting any education about God and scriptures in the city school. All these things show even before her death, she did not bother to talk to someone because she wanted to spend her time in prayer only. So all this show that she was a woman of religious nature. The next trait which we observe about her is her love for her grandson. Her love for her grandson is unquestionable. In the village, when the whole day was revolving around the activities based on the grandson, she used to wake him up, got him ready for the school, offer him breakfast, help him in the homework, going to the school with him, returning back from the school with him. So all the activities you got surrounded with that of her grandson. Even in the city, she tries to keep that bondage intact, but she is not able to do so because now the child is going to English school, and she is not able to help him in homework. Next, when he starts to go to university, then he goes to abroad, she kisses him. When he returns from the abroad, she clasps him in her hand. All these gestures show that she had immense love for her grandson. Her singing about the homecoming of warriors show that how elated she was about the return of her grandson from the abroad. The next characteristic which we observe about the grandmother is her love for animals. When she was in a village, she used to feed the village dogs, and she used to carry some stale chapatis with her, and while returning from school to home, she used to feed the village dogs. And when they moved to city and there were no more dogs to feed, she took to feed the sparrows which used to gather around in the veranda in their house. She used to break the bread into little crumbs and threw them to the sparrows, and this was the happiest half an hour for her during the day. So all these things show that she had a great love for the animals and birds. And the last trait which doesn't go unnoticed is that this lady is a character of great strength. She is a very strong lady throughout the changing phases of the relationship between the grandmother and the grandson. She is never very sentimental, and she never reacts badly or reacts on these changes. कभी भी वो ये नहीं दिखाती है कि मैं बहुत नाराज हूँ, मैं बहुत दुखी हूँ, नहीं सब कुछ मेरे अकॉर्डिंग होना चाहिए. In all her reactions she is very peaceful, she is very calm. जैसे जैसे बच्चा उससे दूर होते चले जाता है वो बड़े आराम से उसको एक्सेप्ट कर लेती है. She is not happy with the child when he is going to city school because he is getting music lessons and he is not learning about God and scriptures. She doesn't say anything. When their rooms were separated, she was unhappy at the time, but she did not say anything and shifted her attention to some other things like spinning wheels, doing prayer and feeding to sparrows. Even when the child was going to abroad, she had an idea, she had little apprehensions that maybe when the child will return, she will not be able to meet him. But she is not a bit sentimental and very easily lets him go. तो ये सारी चीजें दिखाते हैं दिस लेडी इज अ वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग वन. सो दीज आर द कैरेक्टर ट्रेट्स ऑफ द ग्रैंड मदर. अगर ये शॉर्ट क्वेश्चन में भी आते हैं तो आप एक हेडिंग को एक आंसर के रूप में कन्वर्ट कर सकते हो. सो दिस वॉज एंड विथ टुडेज चैप्टर. थैंक यू. हैव अ ग्रेट डे अहेड.